President Bashar al-Assad issued law number 35 concerning the general state budget of the fiscal year 2013, estimated at a total sum of 1,383 billion Syrian pounds. Information Minister Omran Zobi said there is an unprecedented media escalation campaign against Syria, as most of the news are baseless and untrue. In open meeting with representatives and correspondents of Arab and foreign mass media and news agency accredited in Syria today, Zobi said that we are optimistic that Syria, the state, the nation and the people are going to overcome the crisis and triumph over the foreign aggression. Neither Russia nor anyone put pressure on Syria, and the Syrian political resolution regarding all political matters is a pure and sovereign decision, he said, adding that there is no change in the Russian position and discourse. Al-Zabi added that national dialogue is a dialogue among the Syrians and with those who believe in dialogue as a prelude to a political process, noting that those who rejected dialogue and called for taking up arms in fact are afraid of the results of this dialogue. The Syrian Arab Army is not a party to the confrontation, but it represents the homeland and the people, as Zabi said, affirming that there is no such thing as positive or negative, acceptable or unacceptable terrorism. Terrorism is terrorism. Whoever commits a terrorist act is a terrorist, regardless of his nationality or affiliation, as Zabi said. The Minister of Information said that the minimum of patriotism requires the rejection of foreign military intervention, with the maximum being the martyrs who are sacrificing their lives. Patriotism demands rejecting outside dictates and all forms of interference. The view of Vice President Farouk al-Shara is but one among the views of 23 million Syrians. Syria is a state that is ruled by institutions and leaderships which have the final say. When the Syrian army defends the country, it doesn't think about the scope of sacrifices or the consequences of the battle. The takeover in a battle is eventually dictated by the battle circumstances, and the political leadership in Syria was first to propose political solution through national dialogue since day one, said Zabi. The Minister of Information affirmed that the Syrian Arab Army had not interfered in the Yarmouk camp. We don't want to involve the Palestinian camps in the crisis. Palestine will remain at the core of the conflict and the central cause for Syria, and the Palestinian people in Syria and outside will remain part of our cause, identity and future. Waging on anything to the contrary is a losing bet. It's not a source of concern for us, who is appointed in the US, as Zobi said, but rather the US policies. Let's wait and see how it will act, or whether the US will commit to its decision to designate Jabhat al-Nusra as a terrorist organization, or rather preserve in its backing to it.
The Syrian Arab Television toured the area of Saif al-Dawla, which the Syrian army purged from terrorists and thus enabled families to return home.
I
pray to God to grant Syria victory against its enemies. We have suffered a great deal from the terrorists. We have been out of our homes for 5 months.
May God protect the Syrian Arab Army in its battle against the mercenary terrorists who stormed and plundered our homes.
Those terrorists who claim to be fighting for freedom stole all our possessions.
I am very optimistic as I return home, thanks to the soldiers of the Syrian Arab Army.
The General Command of the Armed Forces issued a statement in which it said that a terrorist group attacked a technological military location in Shab'a in Damascus countryside. They murdered the leader of the force protecting the location. A unit of our armed forces regained the attacked location from the terrorists. The General Command asserted that attacking such military locations exposed the aims of terrorists and their regional and international supporters, whose priority is to protect Israel. The statement asserted that our armed forces would continue to work side by side with our people to foil the plots of such criminals and their supporters, and to preserve Syria strong, immune and proud. A unit of the Syrian Arab Armed Forces foiled a criminal attempt by terrorists to detonate an explosive device weighing 50 kilograms inside Al-Nahda hospital in Daraya in Damascus countryside. An official source told Sana reporter that a unit of our valiant armed forces discovered a filled hospital set up by terrorists in a private school. It contained stolen medicines and medical equipment. The terrorists destroyed large parts of the school and turned the rest into a hideout for the criminal operations and to store stolen equipment. In Hama countryside, a unit of our armed forces clashed with the terrorist group that tried to attack citizens and the security forces near Az-Zaraqit in Al-Mhabbe countryside. The terrorists were killed and wounded, including Wa'il Khalid al-Halabiya, one of their leaders, who was critically wounded. 4 of their cars and several motorcycles were also destroyed. The dead terrorists included Muhammad Saleh al-Darwish, Muhammad Zayyat Noor al-Shamiya, Bara al-Umari, Hussein Sulaiman Hamadi, Ahmad Ali al-Hamadi, and Akrima Saleh al-Bakur. The Mass was held this morning in Mary's Church in Bab-Tuma in Damascus for the rest and peace of Syria. The Mass was conducted by Roman Orthodox Patriarch of Antioch and the Whole East, John X Yazagi. He told the worshippers on the occasion of Christmas that they should remember that all Christians continue to live in love with all the sons of their homeland. They should stand united against outside foreigners who have evil intentions. His beatitude greeted all Syrians in their homeland and abroad. We pray to God to protect our Arab region, particularly Syria and Lebanon. Prime Minister Wa'il Halaqi asserted that the process of construction and continuous work goes ahead to build the new Syria of love, toleration and partnership, in addition to confronting the enemies of our homeland who plot against our potentials and abilities. During the event of planting trees in As-Sabura in Damascus countryside, the Prime Minister asserted that the agricultural sector remained a priority in the government's programs of agrarian reform. Easy loans would continue to be offered to our farmers to take care of fruitful trees. He called upon citizens to plant the trees of love and to consolidate the spirit of unity and national interests. He asserted that the tree remained a symbol of our present and future, giving its fruits and shade to our land.